Alright, I am at the corner of, I'm in San Isabel, at the corner of the 79, and I think it's the 78. Yeah, 78. I'm going up into Julian. I was just at the Julian Pie Company, didn't do anything there, but take a little break, and now heading into Julian. Ran into a whole bunch of guys, old guys. That's what you see out during the week, is old guys. Yeah, all on adventure bikes. 90% of them BMW GSs. So that's definitely the bike of choice for a lot of riders. I would get one, but I don't know, they're just so heavy and they've almost got too much technology. You know, I just got that Triumph Bonneville T120, which has traction control, ABS, and actually has a rider mode as well. It's got just ride and rain. This is my NC750 I'm on now. Also pretty simple, although it's got the DCT. It's got essentially automatic transmission. Let's see if I can get ahead of this trailer before he gets going. This has automatic transmission. It's not really automatic, it's what they call DCT, a dual clutch transmission, which means it's got two clutches. One handles the odd numbered gears and the other handles the even numbered gears. And so it still shifts. Whether it automatically shifts, I have paddle shifters here, so I can shift whenever I want. I can override the automatic and shift, or I can stick it in manual mode where it won't shift unless I shift it. In fact, I'm going to go into manual mode right now because I'm going to be kind of going up the hill. And what manual mode, the problem with the DCT, I have, on this bike I have standard mode, rain mode, sport mode, and a user mode that I can program. And the problem with it, I'm in standard most of the time because I'm always after better fuel mileage. Sport mode, actually, I don't use it enough. When I'm in sport mode, I can get away without going into manual mode because it shifts a little more aggressively. It doesn't shift up in standard mode. It just goes boom, 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 boom all the way up into 6th gear, even when you're only going about 35-40 miles an hour, which, you know, gives you good fuel mileage. But especially when you're in the twisties, it's a pain because it wants to, you know, you shift down to go in the corner and then you want to hold that gear and it just wants to shift up. So the sport mode, again, I don't do it often, but every time I do, it reminds me that, oh, you know, if I leave it in sport mode, then I can kind of have it shift the way I would want to shift without having to go into manual. So anyway, for right now, I just shifted down into manual so I can just hold the gears. I haven't been up to Julian in a while. Julian is a nice little town known for their apple orchards. They have famous Julian apple pie, and they have apple orchards. You can go pick your own apples. Pretty touristy this time of year. Typically, I probably wouldn't come here on the weekend. When I do come here on the weekend, I'll go all the way into town, and then you can go down the back side down into Borrego Springs, which is what we'll do today. But if I want to come back this way, once I leave town, there's a road called Winola Road, and it cuts back across over to here. So that's kind of helpful if you want to avoid the traffic coming back the opposite way. If you want to go through town but avoid turning around and doing the same thing again. Yeah, this is Winola Road right there, so that cuts back through. And this red building used to be a really nice Mexican restaurant years ago. I started riding out here in 1991, so back in the day, that was it. Boy, I'll tell you, I leave from my house in Temecula and I'm right out here in this area. I can't imagine moving back to Orange County and wanting to go for a ride and riding an hour and a half on the freeway to get out to these areas here. But I guess that's what you do if we end up moving back. I don't think we will, but you know, if we did, I just have to start doing it and maybe staying out here somewhere overnight so I don't have to do a super race to get back home. That's what used to always be a bummer. And actually, back when I did it starting in 1991, from Santa Ana, it took about an hour to get to the turnoff in Temecula where I start these rides. Now that same drive is about an hour and a half if you're lucky. So the traffic has gotten, you know, quite a bit worse over the years. Yeah, I'm kind of a lone rider out here, mostly by choice. Sometimes it'd be nice to have a couple of friends or a group. The guys I just ran into, they all look like they're retired and they're from, you know, a couple were from San Diego, a couple were from north of LA, and they just all get together and ride, and they're actually going to be staying in Temecula tonight at a hotel, so pretty cool. I suppose I could get together with a group like that if I worked on it. Makes me wonder about getting the GS, but again, I don't know. There's so much technology in the new ones now, and so expensive for maintenance compared to something like this little old Honda. We are now entering the town of Julian. Oh, there's a four-wheel pop-up camper on a truck. We're thinking about getting rid of our travel trailer and getting one of those again. We had one back in the 80s. Just not that much trailer people. We're kind of on the go too much when we're away to set up the trailer and put the awning out and put your chairs out. We don't really do any of that. So there you go. A lot of nice little restaurants and things here. Now if we take this as a little cutoff street, we take this one or the next one coming up, and that becomes in the 79 again, and that will lead you down into the Laguna Mountains and Cayumaca, I think, lake, some lake and some camping down there, and eventually down to the 8 freeway. This is the high school, Julian Union High School. Sharp curves next 7 miles. That's what we got coming. Kind of funny, riding the BMWs for years. The bikes I've had recently, these Hondas, I had a first year classic BMW R100 RS, the Triumph I just bought. I just feel like these corners are just, I don't know if I'm going slower or these bikes are just better in the corners. It seemed like my RT was kind of a handful in the corners. I mean, it did fine, but for me as a rider, I just wasn't very good. And I can't remember now if at that time I was trying to keep up a higher speed and having a tough time, you know, coming in too hot in corners and things like that. But I don't know, these bikes I've had lately, they just, maybe it's because they're lighter, you know, that might be part of it. They just seem really flickable in the corners. Some neat houses out here, kind of in the middle of nowhere, down in these little canyons and stuff. I remember there was a bad fire that came through here. Gosh, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but it was really odd. You'd have one house down here in a canyon completely burned to the ground, and one right next to it not even touched. It's kind of weird how fires do that. Super windy down here, this road. I've had to triumph out my last two rides, last week or so, and it's really nice to have all the torque that thing has. You know, I don't have to shift all the time, but even so, boy, you get spoiled with this DCT where I just barely have to shift at all. It's quite a bike, really. This is not helping my plan to figure out which bike to get rid of, because I kind of like them all. Now it's going to be a problem. Coming up on the S3 that leads into Borrego Springs. Alright, we're at Tamarisk Grove Campground. Place I want to hopefully come down and do some practice camping, because I need the practice, that's for sure. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this portion of the video now, and we'll get back with you in a bit. Alright, had a nice burrito down here. Now we are heading out of Borrego Springs. Laying some asphalt down here in town. Got out just in time. Don't want any of that tar on my bike. Really cool chrome trailer there at this trailer park. Very cool. All right, up the S22.